Hey, good afternoon, church. It is Friday, which means we have made it to the end of a work week. And I am excited about that this week because that means we are within a couple of days now of being able to resume our worship services and meeting together. I know that some of you are not quite ready for that, and there is nothing wrong with that. I do want to make you aware that beginning on Sunday, we will have the option for you to join us live, and you can find that on our Facebook page, on YouTube Live, the channel that some of you have been watching services on, and I believe there'll be a link to that YouTube Live even on our church website. And so put forth a little effort there and try to find us on Sunday if you are not able to join us. If you are able to be here, I want to ask of you a few things that will help Sunday go a little bit smoother and also provide us with perhaps the safest environment for everybody to return. And so the first thing I wanted to make you aware of, if you are going to be attending on Sunday, is that we have two different services. They're going to be identical in content. One will be at 9 o'clock. The second will be at 10:30. When you arrive for whichever service that you choose to attend, then I want you to be aware that there are only going to be 3 doors in the church that are going to be open. The 2 doors on either side of the sanctuary in the front side of the building where many of you park each week, and the back door by the offices underneath the awning will be open for anybody that needs to be dropped off back there as well. So you will need to come in one of those 3 entrances. All other entrances into the building will be locked. On a similar note, the other wings of the building are going to be cordoned off, blocked off for several purposes. One is for simply the fact that those parts of the building are already cleaned and we want to keep them that way. There's no need for us to be down there and contaminating any other parts of the building while they're not in use. Secondly, the breezeway is having some construction gone on down there, and so we don't really want anybody into that construction area as we're laying new flooring in that area. And on the other end of the building, in the children's wing, throughout the week, we have a daycare that meets down there. And so we're blocking that off and making sure that we don't get into their stuff. We certainly don't want anybody coming into contact with the stuff that the children have been in contact with down there, and vice versa. So we're just going to stay in the sanctuary area and come in those 3 entrances. When you get here and when you come into the sanctuary, the pews, every other pew will be marked with a service time. Every other pew will say 9 o'clock, and then the opposite pews will say 10:30. We're going to ask that you sit, obviously, in the pew designated with a service time that you attend. That will ensure those in the second service that they're sitting in pews that someone in the first service did not sit in. And so that will help with a little bit of providing a cleaner, more sanitary space. Additionally, I want to ask that you not arrive too early if you're going to come to that 10:30 service. Please try to arrive no more than 10, and certainly not any more than 15 minutes early for that service, as that 9 o'clock service will be letting out, and that we're going to be trying to run over the pews and rails and handles of the doors and things like that with some cleaning supplies. And so if you are arrive within 10 minutes of the start of that service. If you're leaving the first service, we're going to kind of ask that you be considerate of those that are going to be coming in as well and trying to clean, and so that you not linger very long after that first service as well. I want you to be aware that the service will be a little bit different in nature than what maybe we were doing when we left. We're a very affectionate church. And we do a lot of things where we come in contact with each other. And so the welcome will not be present in this week's service. And we also will not pass an offering plate during the service where we're all touching the same plate. We won't have a prayer time where we're all congregating at the altar for prayer, and the time of response will be really after church. If you need to have prayer or counsel, or you're making a decision, then you can come and find me after the service. And so some of that will be explained inside the service, but I kind of wanted to make you aware of that on this front side. There will be an opportunity to give. I mentioned there won't be an offering plate passed, but if you are desiring to give on Sunday, that when we leave the building, when we exit after the service is over, there will be stations set up on your way out of each door that you can give and do so there. And you'll see those when you leave the building. Also, I wanted to kind of make you aware that there's not going to be, again, any nursery. There's not going to be any children's church. There won't be a choir that's needed for this service. And we are not yet starting our midweek activities. That has been asked of us. Each of those things have been asked of us basically by the state guidelines that have been put in place for phase 1. So we will be at least several weeks away from the resumption of each of those facets of our church life. Also, I just wanted to kind of ask you to kind of use common sense and use a love and respect for others. I mentioned in a previous video that we need to be understanding that there are people in our own congregation that are at different levels of comfort and conscience than we are. Some are a little more sensitive. Some are a little more reserved, fearful, cautious than others. And so we're going to maintain that social distance and ask that you be respectful. Even if that's not really important to you, it will be important to some that are in the room. And so please maintain that social distance. Please don't go up to people and hug them or put out your hand to shake hands because that will make them feel awkward, and it's a little intimidating. So be loving, be respectful. Certainly if you've not felt well, if you've been traveling, if you've been in a hot spot or exposed to people who have this virus or have been around people that have this virus, then just refrain from coming for a little while until we make sure that that's okay. But man, we are excited and pumped to be back together and to worship together this Sunday. I can't explain to you how much I've missed you and how much I have been encouraged from those of you that have been calling and asking, when can we meet again? And so that day is this Sunday. And if you have questions about that, don't hesitate to call or to text. But services are at 9 and 10:30. Our Facebook poll showed that they're within a reasonable percentage of each other, and so you come to whichever service that you would like. There shouldn't be overcrowding in either one. If you would like to invite someone whose church is not meeting, then certainly feel free to do so. We pray that the gospel would go forth in this time and that it would bear fruit. And so, man, love you guys. Miss you. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Talk to you soon.